Hold on, let me tell you this caller. Greetings.
Greetings. Greetings.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's Buzz and B here.
Yes, Buzzy B. How you, man?
Yeah, I'm meant to be sleeping, but you guys, I've got to get up in the morning. But I was quite just interested in the conversation about love. Very interesting, and I mean, to me myself, I'm still trying to work out, because I think that definition is important, because once you define something, then it kind of stays the way you see it and the way you react to it. And to be honest with you, in terms of what love is, I'm not quite sure whether there is a specific definition, because I think that everybody would use their own experiences and their own environment to determine what love is for them. You know, I kind of agree with Grace earlier on in terms of evolving, because the first love that you're meant to get is from your parents, specifically your mum, because she's the one that shapes you and rock your cradle, so to speak. So she's the one that kind of shows you that love and that caring and that protection and there to think. So that's a different kind of love. But as you get older, you realize that there's different kinds of love. So when people talk about is love, I suppose it depends on, because the kind of love that you get from your mom, or you get from, you know, but in the context of relationship, to me, it's a total different context, because people come into a relationship with, I think, with different, I don't know whether the word gender is the right word to use, but obviously people assume that they are meant for each other, well, at least initially anyway. But I think that as people begin to realize who they really are, and each other get to know each other, I think then the context begins to change.
Right.
In some contexts anyway. That's just my opinion on it.
Well, you see, it's quite interesting, because you're coming so deep inside philosophy, and you're turning yourself into some kind of, you stress me out, right? But I come.
He's on his knees at the moment.
But you see, as what I've read, as human beings, right?
Right, absolutely.
We need security, right?
Right.
Because, for example, you know what I mean, your wife like to know when she come home, her home is not burnt down. You know what I mean? You know?
Right. You know, it is not the totality of what everything is, but at least it's you know, it's a little insight into how you see the situation. You know, and it's your view, and perhaps you can widen the scope by your own experience. But in my experience, to me, whatever a person sees as love doesn't necessarily come wrong.
Boy, Buzzy B, I do not see you deep on them kind of subject, Rasta. You're deep, man. You're deep. You look like we have to do a love school for you. We're locking someone and talk about this thing here, because you're deep, man. You're deep.
Yes. Jammers and
Supreme.
And Supreme, I can't hear these guys with it.
You got me sweating, Buzzy B. I said the place is buzzing, and you start ringing up, and now I'm sweating. Well, I got to start with you on this one, James. Buzzy, I got to start. Because basically, what's out of the equation? What's missing from this love business is spirituality. If we don't have spirituality, we're going to end up falling in love. And when you fall down, you're going to end up in tears, having a breakdown, feel like you're in a crash, because you fall in love and you left spirituality out of the equation. You have to go back to the etymology of what a man-woman relationship was in Kemet.
But Jamo, don't you think that in this whole concept of love, don't you think that expectations kind of determines what the love should be, and also it also determines the disappointment?
Well, basically, as you said, it's a concept. They're conning you what you're supposed to accept, because as you said, the terminology hasn't been correctly defined, so everybody's got their own definition of what love is, and while everybody's got their own definition, everybody's going to miss the understanding of their partner. So you have to, as you said, love is a relationship. You have to relate what your terminology is to your partner's terminology, and then, like a science doing a formula, come to a conclusion.
I've got a question for panel there for Dougie, Jamal, yourself, and Supreme.
You brought me out, Dougie. Buzzy, I'm passing you on to Supreme.
I think, and that question comes to how does particular personalities impact on what love is? Because you've got two people, man and woman, and they're all different characteristics. They all bring different personalities to the table. How does that impact on the concept of love?
You know, I want to get back to the image of a black man and the image of a.
No, you have to answer the man question, you know. Yeah, Joe. Hey, Busy Boo. You know, so the man has slide out your question.
Never sidestep the
question. We watch him,
I've tagged you as a tag team now, man.
Hey,
I've got to tag him in.
Hey, man, laughing.
I can't handle no more, so I'm tagging you in, Supreme.
You know, so the man asks you a question, you tell me you go back to this and that. Hey, possibly the man's a bad part. Hey, look at him. He might laugh after me too. He might laugh like I'm crying.
He's crying. I've tagged you in because I can't deal with this man anymore. So I'm tagging you in.
Supreme.
Jay, wasn't B's question was so technical.
Yes, Supreme. I'm waiting for your response to my question. Rather than trying to evade the question.
Yeah, I would love to give you a response, but it will come in like an essay because you know.
Wait, just summarize it. Give me just an abstract. Just give me a summary.
I'd have to ask you the question again, and I can't remember.
The question was that how does the personalities, because obviously people bring different, man and woman bring different personalities into relationship, and they have this thermal thing about love. How does these personalities impact on the question of love? Because quite often the personalities tend to disintegrate what love is, and you often wonder, do these people really love each other?
I actually do think that personality is very important. Yeah, because as you heard when I spoke to the young lady who was on about people being vexed and miserable, that is a trait that is not going to work. It's not going to work with me because we're going to have a breakdown. Yeah.
Right.
And personality. When you mean personality, someone who's happy, someone who's jovial. That's what I'm trying to pick up from you. Someone who's
right. No, I was more talking about personality in the terms of personality in terms of the traits, personality, the totality of who the person is. Because sometimes we've got flaws and we've got different things that comes with.
Yes, but
quite often they intervene into what the concept of love is, and it kind of sometimes undermines it in some aspects.
Yeah, but when we talk about love, it's accepting some of the flaws. Yeah, because we're not going to get someone who's 100% what we want. We're not. We're not going to get someone who ticks every single box. We're not. So there has to be a point where, you know what, I accept you for your certain quirkiness, your certain things, but to the core, that personality, that person you like. You know, the affirmation, you like being around them, they make you feel better. But you might, when you say personality, it might be that their hygiene. I don't know. I'm trying to get where you're going at here. But you probably go on.
I know it's quite a broad term when I say personality, but I was trying to get the totality of everything that makes that person who they are, including their flaws, the good bits and the bad bits. But I'm glad you mentioned about flaws in people accepting people for who they are. But do people really do that? Really?
The ultimate aim of a relationship or being in love is getting married. You say your vows. Your vows says for better or worse, for richer or poorer, in death and what is the other one? In sickness and in death. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So when we make that oath, we have to be serious.
Supreme, we're in the 21st century at the moment. I'm not quite sure that works anymore.
No. You're moving the goalpost, my friend.
Well, I'm not moving the
that
goalpost.
Is an oath, mate.
I'm not quite sure how
Listen, let me tell you something. I bet you go to work You
Right.
go to work. Your
right.
job description, you hold to your job description,
Yes.
and you don't veer off.
No, I
The
don't. No.
vows are like a job
Sometimes I
description,
do.
so
Sometimes I
you
do.
stick to them. And if you're in love with someone, that's the ultimate thing that person wants, that commitment. When you
But
start
if you
bringing in, what's this thing when them say you have to sign paper to say if my money, you don't want my money, and that. That's when you
We're not
start.
gonna agree.
That's when you start
We're not
saying,
gonna
whoa, what's going on here?
Yeah.
You know, to me, I think that's the ultimate thing, especially women want, is to be married. It's a commitment.
Well, you know, I'm just looking at in terms of you talk about for better or for worse, but in today's society with women, and this is not an attack on women or anything, but with women being, you know, having, I suppose, more say and being able to be who they are in the context of a relationship, I think men feel a little bit displaced because society, certainly Western society, and the impact that it has had on us as black people, it's kind of a changed thing somewhat. And in my view, I think that black men quite don't know how to even position themselves, even in the context of a relationship, because it's changed and women are able to assert themselves and assert who they are. And quite often, a lot of black women, in my view, kind of don't quite understand the fully social context of this change in dynamic.
Right.
That's my view.
Right. Oh,
And I think that some black women totally get it wrong. They really do.
Right. Let me jump in here, Buzzy, because you asked a very interesting question, right? And again, you had my brain cells stretching here, right?
Yeah.
And the question was, right, in terms of the personality impact our relationship and the other thing of love. Now then, that's a very good question, and I'm gonna stab it. I'm gonna turn it upside down, and I'll tell you why. Because you see, what we need to look at here, and I think you kind of bring it this way here as well. We can look at our roles as men, and women can look at their roles as women, right? Now, as a man, the main responsibility as a man is to be the provider and the protector, as men, and women are more the we call them the nurturing and etc. etc. Yep.
Right.
Now then, you see, you're right. You can't get away from personality, because everybody's got their own personalities, and it's based on how they come and bring up and so forth, right?
Yeah, background and all that. Yeah.
Yes. Now then, to build on that, it's very important that when you get involved in a committed relationship, that you do sit down and talk about your relationship once a week, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
What you don't like about that person, even that week, and you know what I mean. You sit down and have an honest discussion, because I'm gonna be honest here. What you find in a relationship, most people don't really show their cards.
No, they don't.
They don't show their cards, you know what I mean?
No, really
And what they
don't.
do, they wait till something burning, and they bring everything, you know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
See?
Absolutely.
And to me, it's about really having an honest dialogue, conversation with your partner, at least once a week, you know?
Right. Yeah. I think you mentioned a very important word there for me anyway, is that honesty is, for me, underpins any relationship. I think honesty should be for me anyway, should be the key word, because I think that if you're not, because some people say, well, you know, you don't need to be honest about everything in a relationship. There's some things, you know, perhaps should be forgotten about, or something that you should not be honest about how you feel, if you don't like the way things are going, because you don't want to perhaps upset the other person, and you try to. But to me, that is a form of deception in my mind, because for me, if your mind is clear about what you feel about things, then as far as I'm concerned, then I don't have anything to worry about, because at least the person knows exactly how it feels, whether they respond to it in whatever way. At least I know that I'm quite clear about. I've laid the table, and I've put my cards on the table. That's how I feel about the situation.
Can I ask,
and my mind is at peace, and that's exactly the way I do it.
Can I test you on that? Your honesty, your call for honesty. So imagine you went out one night, you got drunk, and you slept with somebody by mistake, and you knew that telling your partner would end the relationship.
Right. I would tell them. Yes, I would.
Really?
Yeah, of course I would.
Really?
Yes, absolutely.
The mother of your child?
You would I believe it.
And she would take your child away to another country?
Whatever price that I have to pay, then so be it. At least I know, when it's said and done, I'm free, because when you are honest, you're free, and my mind would be free.
Mm-hmm.
I might pay a price emotionally and otherwise, and I might lose this and I lose that, but I know fundamentally I'm free. My mind is free.
Because I think most people's got that idealism that they will be honest, but when the situation comes up...
No. For me, it's not being idealistic at all, because I'm not saying I have cheated before, but I've done things in a relationship before, and I was quite brutal about it, and I said, well, this is what it is. Well, you can, let's deal with it how you can. I've done it before, not as far as that, but I have actually admitted to things, and that's it, because I just could not pretend that this is what it is, because to me it's deceit, isn't it? Because I'm not being honest. I'm not being honest at all. So how can you say you love the person when you can't be honest to them?
Well, you see,
there you are.
Yeah, but you see, it depends on the maturity in the relationship as well.
Mature the person, absolutely.
Yeah, it depends on the maturity, because I remember I was reading something on YouTube.
Right.
What's the woman name was married to Will Smith? Jada Pinkett.
Jada Pinkett, yeah, Jada Pinkett.
Now she said something what kind of blew me away, and I really respect her. She goes that she knows that her husband is attractive, and he goes away and blah blah blah.
Absolutely, she don't worry about it. Yeah, I've seen.
And she said that if he has a fear or do something for another woman, right? Alright then, yes, I'll be hurt. But she said that at the end of the day, he's going to look at himself in the mirror every single day.
And that's my position, and that's exactly my position as well. Really, exactly.
You see? For example, if I'm my queen and she'll go out and she'll go on certain things, I don't get myself worked up with her, because then she's going to look at herself.
I'm in your corner.
Look at the mirror every single day. You know what I mean?
That's why if you come to my flat, you see there's no mirrors in our flats.
So, you see what I'm dealing with. So, and I get myself woke up and and start get paranoid and start drink something and start make up at night. Cause be free.
Exactly. Like I said, be free. I'm right in your corner. I'm not going to lose no sleep. She's got a conscience. Because I can't be watching nobody 24/7. I ain't got the time, because I've got a busy life. I've got lots of stuff to do.
Listen. So something, you feel like it's going to come up.
Yeah.
You have to deal. Something in your part's going to come up, and she's going to deal with. And you understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, Supreme talk about technicality and all that, but I believe that, like you said, Dougie, there's things that you definitely have to discuss in depth and in detail.
Yes.
If it's going to last, there's a lot of stuff that you have to deal with, if not confront. When they do present themselves, you really have to discuss it and deal with it. There's no point pretending it's not there. Quite often, sometimes a lot of people in relationships, it's about what they want it to be, whether they're looking at what the situation is and trying to work it out and probably deal with what's in front of them. They spend the time pretending what they want and the ideal that they want.
Yeah, true. Yes, you're right, James. Yeah,
James, Buzzing Bill, I just want to put something into equation. You know your faults.
Right.
And what your weaknesses and what your faults are. Do you tell the person your faults?
Yes, I do. The thing is, I'm not afraid of one thing about me that I've tried to, in terms of self-development. I have tried as hard as I can. I'm not saying it's perfect, but in my self-development, I always want to confront who I am and look at myself in the rawest possible context of who I really am, warts and all. And I try to say, and some of the things that I learn about myself is what other people have told me about myself. So I take that on board, and I would tell my partner, well, this is something about me that might not be that present. I'm this, I'm that, I'm argumentative, I'm this and that, and I would say it. But matter of fact, they would see it in any way, in any event, because it's what other people have told me. about myself and what I've learned about myself. Because you learn yourself through the relationships you have with other people.
Well, you see, Buzzy B, you said the key word, you know, and the key word is self-development.
And we're going to say greetings, caller.
Thank you.
Oh,
Greetings.
Greetings.
Okay then. Oh, you come back on us again. That's good.
Yes, I have. I come back in the reply to, you know, sour face. And women being so sour faced that everything turns sour because they're not happy.
It's Supreme says that, you know. So that women, listen.
Yes, thank you for calling the name. Supreme, I'm trying to get my hands on about
If so,
sour.
them sour when them come out the road.
the observation I've seen. I'm just going to say, I wouldn't like to go on a bank robbery with you. You would say, yeah, Supreme, he done everything. Yeah, it's just an observation that I see that a lot of sisters in the community seem to be going around very vexed and miserable and unapproachable. And it's not, you could see the same particular sister over a period of time and you see that they're unapproachable, they're miserable. And sister, another thing that I've seen, right, is that couples going out and their partner is always miserable. Always, I don't want to mention a particular person, right, but I've always seen their partner, and to the point, the person was so miserable all the time. I didn't think they were going out. You know when you see somebody beside someone say, "Oh, it must be his sister. What's she so miserable, his sister?" No, that's his wife. And I said, why this so miserable
all the time?
Yeah, every time.
Might be some of the nature. I don't know. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
So my sister, you heard the man say. So what's your take on them kind of talk there? When you say that women are
Miserable.
and sour face and all them thing there.
Black women.
What's up?
No. Listen, about black women, don't be like that. You're being just like the media out there. Oh, it's black women, there's some black women. That's not nice. The difference is, I think one of the brothers had mentioned earlier that, you know, or a sister had phoned and said, well, depending on what they're going through. And that's absolutely true what she did say.
It's true.
It's dependent upon what they're going through. Now, if you're going through something and you feel depressed or you feel sad or unhappy or whatever, you want what that person is doing, and from my understanding is they're wanting everybody else to know that they themselves aren't happy, and they want you to notice it, and hence you have the screw up style face. Then on the other hand, you think on how the man's approach and how he approached her or what he said, because don't forget, manners make a man, so they to say. But if they approach you in a particular manner and it's not what one would say a decent way in how you would approach, well then yeah, you're going to get a screw up face. If there is no harm in saying good morning or good afternoon, hello, or how are you, and if it is that they feel that they want to continue to scrub the face, as far as I'm concerned, they can continue to scrub the face, because every time they scrub the face, you see them thing called wrinkles and distortion that people get in the face as they get older. That just increases those lines deeper and deeper into the skin. And for anybody, whether it be male or female, the smile, it's warming. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. But there are some people out there that have a problem with smiling, and that's because their life is not where they would like it to be, and it goes back to people's different definitions of love and their meaning or their spin or their take on their expectations of what love is to them and what they're expecting to get from a person. And if they're not getting that, then of course you're going to screw up your face. And if you're screwing up your face and you're not saying, well, this is the problem, then that's what you will always get.
But
And then again, if you want to live longer, I can guarantee you better start smiling, honey, because you know it shows stress. Your face will show stress that then attacks the body,
But-
then helps put you so many feet under. So
But you see, what you're saying, I agree with what you're saying. You know, I totally agree. And I just want to add something here, because it's all about vibration. Because if you're coming out and you're miserable, you're gonna attract miserable people around you based on the vibration. Yeah. Yeah. But if we go out and, you know, with a happy, you know, happy feeling, you know, and smile, and you're gonna have a great day, and so and so, you're gonna track certain positive vibration. So everything's back down to vibration. So it's what you give out, you know,
what you receive.
you receive, you know. So so what you find that in terms of because what Supreme is saying is quite interesting, because it's kind of opened up some cans of worms, really. And it'd be interested to know what energy they're giving out. You see what I'm saying? Because obviously something's as they've gone through some stuff, and far as I'm concerned, you know what I mean, that I'm going through a bad day, I've had a bad night, and I'm going through
but
some
it's as
challenges,
bad
and
as
blah
you
blah
would
blah,
like
blah.
it to be.
And you
That's
send that
what
order
I'm
out, and
saying.
you're gonna track.
But one thing, it's as bad as they would like it to be, if you get my meaning. Because it may be bad, but is it all bad? Is everything that has happened so bad that it warrants that you need to be carrying it on your face? And to see a screw-up face, or to see a face that looks a particular way, I'm telling you, it's damn ugly. So, you know, look at your face in the mirror. Go to the mirror and you look in the mirror. And yes, no matter what you're going through, does it mean that you have to be carrying that load and that weight on your face? We can, but we don't have to. We have choices. We can, if we choose to, even though we may have had a bad day, or we're having a bad day, carry it on our face. That's our choice. But unfortunately, you carrying your face screw up, you don't see it, but everybody else that's coming towards you sees it. So that's the vibration when we talk about attraction. The law of attraction is if you're carrying out that sending out that vibration, obviously that's the vibration in which you're going to continuously be getting and receiving.
All right, James wants to say something. Go on, Jam.
Yes, Supreme just asked me to speak on his behalf. He said that's no excuse. He said that we've been through slavery and we still had compassion to each other. Our fathers and mothers, they went through being beaten, whipped, having no houses, lynched, but they could still say hello. Today's society, we've got the most comforts, we've got TV, we've got the best comforts, and we still can't say hello to each other. Supreme says that's no excuse.
That is true. You know, that's absolutely true, Jammers. It is no excuse, and as I'm saying, it's up to the individual person to want to carry on screwing up their face, or let me just change it and have a smile and greet the world differently. And that's maybe in their mind, they're thinking, well, I have to be that way, and and they feel resentful about certain things, but they want everybody else to know that they have a problem. Whereas if they spoke, or they were able to talk to someone about whatever problem, you may get rid of them being that way. And you know, it's, you know, being depressed or down is I can call it, it's like a thief who's thieving your happiness. You've got what, you know, people are going to see exactly what you put out, and what you put out is what you get.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll allow somebody else to come in and have their view, but No, I think we can, even if we are feeling down, we can, greet each other, because I find there's nothing wrong with greeting each other and saying good afternoon, good morning, or whatever time of the day it is, and having a smile in the face, because you'll find that even if you are feeling down, you will notice and feel the difference too if you continuously sour up your face, whether it be male or female.
Yeah.
And then, given with men, if with certain women, if depending on how they're dressed and their mannerisms and how they're carrying themselves, or how they approach and what they say to you, plays a lot to the response in which that you will get from when you say good morning or good afternoon to a woman. And we do expect, or respect from our male counterparts. That maybe they have to bear that in mind when approaching or saying something, I suppose. Okay.
No. It's quite interesting what you just said there, my sister. And as you just said, it's what you give out. You see, it's what you give out. You get that kind of energy. You know, if you've already programmed your mind that you're gonna have a miserable day and everything's going against you, you're gonna track all that around, and that's why it's very important to program your mind, program yourself. Listen to positive music, have positive conversation. And as you know, sister, it's a process. It is a process. You know what I mean? And think what Sabrina is saying, what he's bringing to the table, that when he goes out there, this is what he's experiencing but we can get to the root of it, and this is what they're manifesting themselves. That's what they're saying that they want, to the subconscious, and this is what we're getting, So everything comes down to the mind. Everything comes down to the.
Yeah, because it's the thoughts, and if your thought continuously is, well, I don't want to say good morning, or what you saying good morning to me for. But the funny thing is, there are some people when you get up and you say to them, good morning. Well, what's good about the morning? And you just think, what the hell? Wait a minute, I'm just sleeping, or I've just woken up. And you're telling me, well, what's good about the morning? The day's just started. It can be as good as you want it to be, or it can be as bad as you want it to be. Just because you're in that place doesn't mean that you have to try and take everybody else to that place where you are at. And maybe if when the person does say good morning to you, good afternoon, whatever, and instead of the reply being, well, what's good about the morning, saying good morning back, you'll feel within your, spiritually, you'll feel more lighter or happier if you took the time to know yourself, okay, and notice that there is a difference to someone says good morning or good afternoon, and you say good afternoon, good morning. The next question may be, and how are you? And you can then have conversation starts like that. If you don't want to have conversation, that's perfectly fine.
I'd just like to just add on what she said. Basically, another element is that there's, as Brother Barry said earlier, that we're a product of a social genetic experiment as well, to engineer us to act in a certain way as a community. There's an attack on us as a community through the media and through various other aspects that is programming us to act against that way. Just like as you put a lot of rats together and you experiment, the same way that they've engineered our communities with drugs, crime, and the images that they're showing us, so we are acting in a detrimental and negative way towards each other. So until we get together collectively and decide that we are going to redefine who we are and how we act towards each other, individually we always have this problem. So we need to see that there's a bigger hand in this. It's just not individual against individual. There's an unseen hand that is programming this in our community.
Well, I totally agree with what Jammers is saying, because even that is part of the screw-up face syndrome. Because why would one wake up, or why would one be, whatever time of the day, feeling a particular way? And when you take into consideration the environment and society in which we live in, it's they're continuously, whether we be male or female, being bombarded by what other people believe that is right for us, which might not be. So that's the vibration in which they're sending out, and we're trying to live our life, but yet still the signals that are being emitted out into the universe, out into our environment, is very negative. And so I believe our systems are having to fight. There's a lot of external intrusion into ourselves as to our emotions that we're feeling and how we're feeling about things and reacting to the vibration in which we're receiving from what's being admitted to us.
No, but you see, the key word you said there, right, is to how we react, to the to the emotion, to the vibration. Is how we react to it, and that's the key. I don't think what you said there is the key. I hope people listen to what you just said there. We're reacting.
Could I just say something here? The nation is at its highest when our women are in harmony. Harmony means in a peaceful state. The whole of society is created to cause emotion and disharmony. And as in our genetic makeup, we've got the chemicals that absorb. So basically, any negative energy that's transmitted by them, we absorb it. And when you wake up to hear detrimental news, you play PlayStations of killing, how are you going to respond? How are you going to see murder, cracks on the street, your dysfunctional families, and we're absorbing all this negativity. There's only one way and that's going to be we're going to be dysfunctional towards each other. You see, so we've got so much information now that we should now be able to fight against this. We've got more information than Malcolm X, more information than Martin Luther King, more information than Marcus Garvey. So it's time for us to wake up and rise up and push back all of this negative energy, and we can do it as a people.
Absolutely. Okay, my sister. Give thanks, because we're just trying to squeeze in some more calls. Might get a couple more calls in still. So this is music to the ears, just to talk and to reason, you know what I mean? And so give thanks. Yeah. All right. So you're coming to the event on the 14th. Yep.
Oh yes, I'll be there.
Fantastic. All right.
As from my perspective, having too much sex or having sex with the opposite sex can sometimes push you further along on the thing, and that too much sex in those early adolescent years can cause insecurity because you're really not yet capable of loving another human being. A little girl opening herself up to some guy, afterwards he's just shut down and wants to go off and be with the guys again. How does that leave her feeling?
Okay.
I've been listening throughout
with somebody before she's
to the
capable
show,
of feeling
and
herself.
it's very interesting, the different things that come up, different ideas, concepts, what have you. And I was just ringing to say, I'm enjoying the show.
Right.
Yeah.
So was it you enjoy? And is there anything you don't like, you want to bring to the table? What's been said? Because you have some man in here, and sometimes we can be a bit biased or a bit
I think there was the subject of the Vex ladies. I wanted to know a little bit more about, is the brother saying all the ladies are vexed? I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be interesting, because I think because what Supreme was saying, that to some extent, there's a bit of light where he's saying that when he goes out, he observed that a lot of women seem to be vexed. But what the sister was saying, a couple of sisters who phoned in said that you really go look at it as it is, the root of it and so forth, because you can't really say all women, right? I mean, that'd be a false statement, right? But he's just sharing from his observation. But I mean, as a sister, I mean, but I don't know if you observed it. But how do you see how we react with each other, like man and woman, on a day-to-day basis? I mean, because the point I'm trying to make here is that we should be going out and greeting each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Going out and say greetings, Aiki, my sister, Aiki, my brother. And there's no hidden motive, because sometimes people will say greet or say hello, have a smile, and they have a motive, you know what I mean? They want to do a thing, so to speak, you know what I mean? You have some people just like that, you know what I mean? Right? But in fact, hey, Supreme, you look like you're asleep. Sleep, come here. Hey, and you started the argument in the bridge. Oh yeah, sleep up. So,
Right.
Right.
It's the cold is getting to me, you know.
Cold
The
gets you?
flu. Yeah, I'm suffering with flu. So I'm a bit-
Tell him to try wheatgrass. It's very good. Wheatgrass and lots of lemon juice.
Yeah,
Apple
wheatgrass.
cider vinegar as well.
Yes, Supreme. So come here, speak. You're the one started the argument.
Well, no, I just mentioned it was just an observation that I noticed at a few events that I've attended that a lot of the black women seem to be very vexed and miserable in
So
just
you've-
their
you've-
demeanor and their
yeah.
body language, and just I'm saying, why do they even bother to attend or come out or show themselves if they have an issue or a problem? But it's not just one off. I'm seeing it as like there's certain people that regularly they're just miserable and vexed, walking around carrying.
You ever asked about it, Vex?
No, because that's one of the problems. Is the unapproachableness of, you know, when someone's unapproachable. In fact,
Oh, I see.
I feel that vexed people and miserable, they just suck the mood out of the room, like. You know, like they just, you know, like a Hoover. They come and they're just there, and you think, I don't even want to sit next to them. I don't even want to be in their environment. But I'm saying, why do people come out vexed? Why do you leave your house upset? Why do you leave your house miserable?
Okay then. All right then. Yes, Chairman.
Yeah, I've just seen this book that Supreme's got 10 bad choices that ruin black women's lives. And what it is, it says if you ask most women, the first quality that they look for in a man is that he should be rich. Now that would explain why they're vexed, because if they got their expensive shoes on, their credit card breasts, their false hair, eyelashes, and then you come with your ragamuffin self and say hello, that is where you're going to get the vexation, because they're saying, I spent all this money on myself and you couldn't even buy a decent pair of trousers. Whereas the man's dynamic now, he's just looking for sex, so every woman is attracted to him. He's going to say everything to the first woman he sees. It's the dynamics of the intersexual relations. Can you comment?
Right.
Right. You want me to? Are you talking to me?
No, if you want to comment, but I mean,
Oh, you want me to come in? Gosh, I mean, I just got a really different take on the whole man and woman issue. But to be honest, I feel there's different levels, different things going on. And also, I would also ask, you know, is there an age group thing? Is this throughout? Is Supreme talking about women of all ages, or is he talking about younger women, older women? You know, what type of women? Because, you know, I think I think it's a bit of a sweeping statement to say all the women are vexed out there. But at the same time, you know, that is Supreme's experience. So obviously we have to look at it from that standpoint. But you know, I think it depends. You know, it just depends on the you know. Yeah, this is what I really just need to know. What sort of people, what sort of age group are you talking about, Supreme?
but you see, but I mean, yeah, but you see, let's see, we can really. I think it depends on what you're dealing with as well. I mean,
Why do you sound so far away? You know, all of you. I can't. You sound.
Yeah, I don't know the volume.
Ah, that's better. That's perfect. Yeah.
Really, I think it depends on what you're dealing with. I mean, if you're a person into personal development
Yeah.
and positive vibration and just positive, you're going to attract different people into your environment. But if you're not into that stuff, you're a person always moaning and you got a good reason to moan and so forth. Things not going, and you're going to attract all this kind of negativity. So I think it's all to do the vibration, I don't know. I do think it's to do the vibration and the environment.
That's how I look at it as well. I just feel, there's certain people that their vibration is, because you got the scales, haven't you? And if they frequent the low vibrations, as in they're miserable, they're not happy. Because you see, the thing is, it's not your circumstances that you should wear on your countenance. Your countenance should not give away what your experience is or what your circumstances are. So I don't buy into the fact that, obviously things might be going wrong for somebody and they're walking around with a face full of misery. Because I can, usually that same person, even if they've got the life of luxury and everything that they want, they will still be miserable. So it's not, I don't think it's about the fact that, they're not getting the rich men and all the rest of it, because I don't think every woman wants that, really. I think most women want a decent man, an honest man, a faithful man. That's in my work, and that's what I've come across. That's what women are really asking for. And money's not really because they can go out and get their own money. So it's not really about the money.
I can understand what you're saying there, but I think women, if you put 10 men in the room, the women with all the expertise on astrology, body language, Oprah Winfrey, getting together in groups, they'll pick the worst one. When they're choosing the clothes, they'll take hours, they'll look at all the designer look, check the stitching, the label, put it on a couple of times and test it. But when it comes to men, they'll be picking the man in the darkened room where they're drinking, and it could be just his haircut or the ring on his finger, what they're going for. So despite of all the information women have got nowadays, it seems like they will pick a bad man.
I mean, yeah, I suppose you could be right with that. But I think it's really difficult. I think one of the things that Buzzy B said is that I sort of concur with is that he said you can know somebody, you can think you know somebody, and you don't, because people are always changing, and we live in a really fast-paced world now where people are so open to so many things. This year, you could be believing this, thinking this way. Next year, you could fall into something else if your mind is, out there in a different group. If you're hanging around a different group of people, so it's not as simple as saying women go out with bad men. It's a case of you go out with somebody and we don't probably have enough conversations. Like we said last week, Sister Sandra said we should be doing 200 questions, and I think someone tonight, either DJ Jan, someone said it was about the fast dating, and at first I was thinking like Brother Dougie, that's a bit, I don't really, but that was a really good thing, that point that you raised. That the questions you can ask, whereas on a normal date, on a traditional date, people don't really feel comfortable asking certain questions, and they get caught up in meeting up and doing the same old date. I always say that one of the things I think is important that I've learned from my experience is don't just do the same old, let's meet up and have a dinner. Try to do different things. Try to meet that person in different environments. Like, what are they like around their friends? What are they like around, your friends? What are they like? Maybe do a task where you're going to do something where you've got to see this person's temperament. Maybe something where you're out. You probably have to do some adventure.
That's right.
And see, what this person's like. Are they, can they handle stress, or
That's
are they
right.
going to, are they going to turn to a monster because things are not? Do you know what I mean?
Boy, it's going to ruin my chance again.
I think as well, you were talking about joking about the MVQ and I think really there should be some type of, something to help people along. Because I think we shouldn't have to get to these big ages where we've gone through this and that, and then we know the answers. It should be, for our young ones, there should be some type of education. And why can't the people who's already gone through put something like that together?
I think you've hit that's an excellent point you've just raised, because we learn mathematics, we learn English, and the one thing that's going to affect your whole life, you haven't got no qualifications in it.
There's nothing there for people.
Not even at A level.
Yeah, you have to go through and through, wait till you get to a big old age, and then, you know it all. But why, you should know these things at 18, 19, 20. Do you see what I'm saying?
Let me jump in there, because I mean, Supreme raised a question, speed dating, right? And I wanted to throw in the other thing about blind dates and blind. Is it
I
blind
was
dates?
as well, but when he said what he said, that made sense to me.
Because you see, the thing is that if we meet someone on a blind date, it is a blind date, because all you're doing really is just chatting, put your best foot forward and such, but you don't know that person there. And you notice that we watch them programs about blind dates, right? They're all happy, but after about a couple of weeks, that person's a monster. He's disrespectful, he was this and that and real, because you don't really know that person. You don't know that person at all, you see. So
remember though, with that blind date, the one that Scylla did, the thing is, they don't get to see the visual of the people. So they like the personality, but then they see the person, or they see the person that they like they like the look of is somebody else. They get the one with the personality, and and then and also as well, sometimes that person was nothing like what they said they would get. The things that they answered to, they didn't turn out to be that type of person after all.
That's right.
And the options were probably too narrow, because remember that these people pick some random people and put them up there. Whereas I suppose if your friend was doing a blind date for you, they know you very well. They know what your likes are, your dislikes are. So it could probably work if it's a good friend or a family member who. Because remember, Asians, that's how they tend to do their thing.
It's true.
And it works for them, mostly. I know sometimes it doesn't, but most of the time, they do tend to work.
I was going to ask you, have you ever recommended a friend to another friend as a sort of helping them out in finding a partner?
No, I've never done.
You've never done it?
That's a really interesting question. I've never been involved in that, no. Hold on, let me just... No, I'll tell you what. I did, it's funny as you said that, something's just come up. Years ago, I did introduce a couple of friends to each other, and they went through a bit of turbulence and that here and there. But from what I know, they're still together as far as I know. They sort of found themselves. They got themselves back together and they got stronger out of the difficulties. But I did actually.
Can I say
introduce two friends? Yeah, this was ages ago though, in my sort of teenage years. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, sis. Did you see a certain quality in both the people that you thought that is the match?
Well, no, I didn't. You see, I didn't put them together in that way. I just, it was just a case of we all came together, and I said, But it wasn't a case of me thinking beforehand. It wasn't a premeditated thing. It was just something that happened, and I realised, these two people, they could be good for each other. But it wasn't something. It was something that came about after I saw the interaction between them. But it wasn't something that I sort of thought, this person would be really good for this person. But it turns out that they were very different, but they've they eventually grew to, because you know what they say? They said, a couple can go through a lot of stuff, but if they manage to get through that stuff eventually and they get to the other side, they stay together forever. Seriously. But if they can't, then, they just split up and go their own ways.
No, but it's quite interesting because the question what Supreme just asked in terms of...
It's funny, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
But I suppose it was some
and you see, something, that's something I personally will encourage, that, that if you see, if you know these two individuals, right, and they've got something in common, and, obviously, and they're quite close to you, right? Yeah, I would definitely encourage that. You see what I'm saying? Definitely try to at least come together and have something in common and get a relationship going. Because something I definitely encourage. You know what I mean? Especially if someone's got a bit of an insight when it comes to your thing about relationships and so forth. Because what it comes down to, is what you want from each other, and you got to look at a relationship as a business, and it's quite interesting because possibly, we're talking about love, and we was really turned upside down, and love is is very important. Everybody needs love, you know what I mean? But you got to look at it deeper, and you got to look at it a bit more deeper now. You see what I'm saying? You can't just look at it as just love and lust and you fancy this person and blah blah. What is important as well, but it's deeper than that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's what you're going to build together in the future. You see?
Yeah, because people. The thing is, no one remains the way they were when they were 19, 20. We're deteriorating all the time. So that's why it's, you have to love the person more than skin deep. It has to be more than that. But you know what I wanted to ask? I wanted to ask, has any of you been on a blind date? Have any of you been on a blind date?
Well, I met someone who in a dark place one time, and when I went on the date, that's when I saw her face. And I had to make my excuses very quickly. Yeah, that's my experience.
No, I haven't.
Is that DJ Jammer saying that? Yeah,
that's Supreme. Yeah, that's
anybody else in the studio?
No, I haven't been on a blind date.
But hasn't there ever been an occasion where your friend is going out and said she's bringing her friend with her?
Yeah,
can you come?
All that's
Because technically that is a blind date.
That is a blind date, yeah.
So you might say, "Oh, okay, I'll come up." Like what they call it, like a wingman, And you might say, "Well, nah, she's not my type." But just for the occasion of being a couple or foursome, you tag along. So you tag along, and sometimes you might say, "You know what, that person's not that bad after all," after having a conversation. But our first problem, I find, is that we look for the physical attraction when someone says it's a blind date. The first thing if you say the word blind date, you're actually going to ask, what do they look like? You'll actually ask the person, well, what are they like? What do they look like? You're not going to say...
Sure.
You're not going to ask the questions that's going to keep you in a long-term relationship. You understand? You're going to say, "Well, I'm going on a blind date. I'm going night moves. I don't want no one to see me with anybody."
But I think in the olden days, that's our partners went through a selection process, a rites of passage, where the family check the wealth of the other family, check the history of the relationship. Did we were in the past in certain? You see, that's how it was done in the selective choice. It wasn't done on a fancy and lust. Because if you went in a betting shop now, you wouldn't pick a horse just because you like the colour of the horses. The rider. So it's just like being in a betting shop. You've got to be calculated, see the history to back a winner. You're not good.
Yes, Jammers. I like that one, you know, Jammers. No, that was powerful, though, Jammers. No, wula. No.
I couldn't relate a relationship to a place.
No, that's the free. He's right, you know, because if you back a horse, right? No, back a horse because you fancy the horse, you know. You go look at his track record, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Who's the trainer, right? What stable is he and everything? oh yeah, cover the month.
You just said you don't want no more paint shops, and then you talk about trainer.
No, y'all come. Hey, so bring your two bad for me.
So are you telling me, the both of you in this room now, that your friend has never gone, I'm taking out Sandra tonight, or I'm taking out someone tonight, I got a friend for you, a friend's coming along, but are you going to come?
Yeah, well, that happen all the time, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
That
that's
happen-
a blind date.
Yeah, it's true. It's
Well, the friend's always the worst one who can't get anybody. That's why they've been bringing them along.
No, man, you can't. Oh, yeah, bring the argument. Yeah, bring the argument.
If my good friend said that to me, I'd say, yeah, I'll tag along. Cause it's not gonna hurt. It's not hurting you. All you're doing is you're having an adventure. You might think, well, this adventure's not really for me at the end of the day, isn't it?
Well, listen, man. I went to this park festival over Fringe Park, and my brethren, he was dating this girl, this sister, and she bring her friend. Brethren, I bust out wide and out. I mean, stop for look, Chris. That's what I have to say.
Yeah.
Look nice, man. You know what I mean? So me feel enjoy myself. You know what I mean? Right? Yeah, that was a nice date.
Yeah, but we've got the sister on the line, and I don't want her to feel
Yeah,
But
listen.
exactly what I said. The first thing you think of in blind date is physical attraction. But yeah, if you was to write down on the paper and say, "This is what I want from my partner," where would the physical attraction first would come in your list? You want all the things that the sister just said, right or wrong, and even you said that. About track record and that.
What about the ass?
That's a track record, not physical. That's a winner. I'm looking for a winner. I don't care how harsh look. I'm back in the winner. Most people go on the jockey's hats.
Well, we have Sister Amani panel. Say, man, say, yeah, I hear some talk or this. Amani, coming back with because we don't want to sidetrack. You know what I mean?
No, I'm listening intently.
Oh no, that don't sound too wholesome.
What are you asking me, actually? What are you asking?
No, just come in and talk, man, because we don't know what we're talking about.
I'm just saying we have to
I'm
look
sure
at
you do, I'm sure
more
you do.
selective, like we're backing a horse, you know. Or you're picking the winning dress. You're not gonna just go on impulse. That's what I'm trying to get to. You're gonna be more calculated in your selection process. And see that impulse could be a distraction.
I think we should be, but I think most I don't know. It's like what you said earlier on. People tend to go with what they see, don't they? It's more about what, you know, particularly men, because men are visual, aren't they? Women tend to want to hear things. They want to hear nice words or what have you.
But
So,
sorry, Amani, but I don't want to cut you there. But you see, if you listen to Sister Grace,
yeah.
she said that when she was in her 20s, probably, you know, that she was looking more from the physical. You know, he looks cute. He's got a nice bum and blah 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 and all that stuff there. You know what I mean? Right. But now, you know, she's mature now in late 40s, 50s, you know, whatever. Right? She's looking at something totally different. So obviously, when you're mature, you're gonna look at things slightly different from from you used to when you're younger. Because when you're younger, you're gonna look at people because they're physical and well, it's still important. Still,
I don't know. It's difficult as well, isn't it? Because it's how do you, again, everybody's, the beauty thing is in the eyes of the beholder.
It's true.
I mean, I must admit, for me personally, I've never really looked at a guy and gone for, you know, the obvious good, you know, I don't sort of pick in that way. I think I tend to go for maybe how the personality and how the person treats me, or, you know, how they're going to be with me. I don't tend to go out there thinking about, you know, how the guy looks. But
when he was younger, that's what I'm saying. When he was younger, did he use?
No.
Okay, then, fair enough then.
Because I was really shy, you see. So
Okay, then.
for me, no, seriously, I still am really shy, but even more so back in those days. So it was a case of who was the, you know, for me it was about the person who was kind of the opposite of me, more gregarious, more outgoing, you know, more, you know, because I think opposites attract in that way, doesn't it? Because personality.
Yeah.
So for me, it was always about a more outgoing personality than my own.
Okay then. So you really deal with the personality.
For me, personality is really
Very
important.
important for you. Okay,
Yeah, really important.
Yeah. Because it'd be interesting,
You know,
because
I like someone a bit lively, a bit fun, a bit. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, because my personality is like that underneath, but but when I'm out among people, I tend to be really shy. So I like to, you know, so personality is very important to me, and it's always been like that. But yeah.
Can I say something?
I don't know, right?
No, what you saying? Your go on, James want to say something.
So basically, the key element, the root of it all, we've been disconnected from our divine self and our divine purpose in our lifespan. Basically, you know, to form strong unities and have a relationship with our spiritual divinity. When that's your objective, then you're choosing a partner who's going to give you produce a good family and enhance your structure and enhance your development in life. It's a spiritual development that we used to look for. It wasn't like a shallow sexual or materialistic satisfaction that was our goal, or instant impulse. Our goal was more a long term, to have a prosperous spiritual abundance and become closer with our divine nature. So our selection process was entirely different from this one, where, as I said earlier, your family would see the family, another family, and you would have confidence in them selecting the partner based on certain divine qualities like humanity, justice, consideration, honesty. These were the qualities that were seen more important, and through our rites of passage we were in control of our sexual impulses. That was something that we could control. But now, living in this Western concept, the sexual impulses is the most dominant force, and now our choices are based on appearance and sexual needs.
Which I think, I think it doesn't make sense, because, you know, those are the things that they go very quick. You know, the looks and all that stuff goes quite quickly, but the character of the person, the personality of the person lasts forever, doesn't it? Or, you know, as long as the person's got their mind still intact. So that's why I think, for me, I mean, I've always been a bit of an old soul anyway, so that's always been the case. That's always been my, you know. But it doesn't necessarily mean that that is the right way either. You know, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't go for what you like the look of, because, you know, I think it is important. But it's also important to remember that it doesn't last. That's the thing I'm saying.
But
that's why it shouldn't be picked first.
Yeah, but let me just jump in there, because you see, it depends on the purpose.
Who looked the way they looked when they were 20? You know, nobody.
That's true. That's very true. But you see, you know, you got to look at the purpose of the relationship. What's the purpose of the relationship? You see, and that is why when you brought the other thing about arranged marriage, right? You know, you can understand the purpose behind it, because, I mean, you know, it's not something arranged marriage. You're talking about bringing marriage, two families come together, right? I mean, and then obviously, I mean, all right then, like the royal family, they're not going to pick anybody. You know, as a fact, not gonna pick on anybody, and they shouldn't, right? And to see the things that, for example, right, if my daughter now, right, she wants, she's talking about getting married or settle down or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, I've a say in it. You know what I mean? Because what I'm gonna do, she might pick this money, but I'm gonna say, look, I'm gonna do my homework because you don't know this might have a background of mental issue or whatever the case may be. You know?
That's right.
See?
Right.
And you like to know, so well, boy, one of this man can look after my daughter and Ray and all them things. You're gonna do your homework. You're gonna have a say in this thing, because you want to make it sustain and last forever. You know what I mean? Because like I said before, you gotta look at relationship as a business.
I think even more important, you've got to look at it. We used to look at it as a heritage. It's like a relay race. It's like a relay race, and you're going to put your whole efforts and your whole essence. You're going to pass the baton on to somebody else to take it further. So you're not going to choose a runner who's overweight or who's going to drop the baton. You're going to choose someone who's. So that was the most key element is continuing our inheritance and our heritage.
Mm-hmm. Because what we've got to look at as well is in terms of, say, relationship. It's we're talking very much about the aesthetics of it and. Two people coming together, are they compatible mentally, emotionally, physically, and that's all very important. But the end result is, the family. What about,
yes, it's true.
When your parents split up, I mean, my parents split up when I was about 12 and got separated, then eventually divorced. And, we're forgetting that if we don't do these things forward first, and do all these checks, then the children, it's the children that's going to pay the price.
Yes.
And so it's not just about does so and so look good in their genes or all these things. Even though yes, health-wise, it is good to sort of look at what somebody might be, look like what might be happening to them later on in the end. But it's about also the children. You're coming together. Usually to develop a family that is going to go on and be your ambassadors into the future when you're no longer here.
Yes, well said. And you see, it's quite interesting because
so the relationship is big, it's massive. It's not just two people liking the look of each other. It's much more
than
that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And you see, it's interesting because you're talking about building a nation, really. It's about building a nation, and that's why relationship, is something we need to take more seriously. Because let's face it, most of us are going to think upside down. All you have to do, Iman, is just look in the community and see how we behave with each other. That's what you have to do, and then ask myself, have we got it right? We're totally upside down.
And look at, I just want to say this one, yeah. Look at this. When we was in slavery, the slave masters took the best to breed with the best in slavery. They took the healthiest to breed with the healthiest. We are free now, and we're not even thinking about what kind of child is this potential partner going to produce. We're not even thinking about that. So we're selecting bad mothers and for our future generations. That's a key element that you just said.
Very true. Very, very true.
Yeah, because we're not thinking ahead. We're not, it's like we need to think, hundreds of years ahead. And another problem with our community is we just think about where things are now. What's the next for me now? We're not thinking about. You see, when you're thinking long term, you think very differently than you do if you're thinking in the short term, in the moment, momentary. So if you're thinking now at this moment in time, then you're going to want a certain type of person in your life. But if you're thinking long term, you're going to, certain things are going to be low down on the list that you probably have as, because values, you've got, you might have a set of values based on where you started. But if where you started, your mindset wasn't quite right. You might need to change your values and put some of those things right at the bottom and bring some new things to the top, you know, where it's going to take you where you want to go. You know, because when you say values, we're talking about what do you hold valuable, what's valuable to you. So if you realise that what you hold valuable is not taking you anywhere, then you will have to turn it on its head and find some new values.
But you see, let me just jump in there, Mani, because, boy, Mani, you're a deep person, you know.
I am a very deep person.
Yeah, I can see that, man. You come like,
I might look a bit shallow, but I am deep.
You're supposed to be on the same page, you know. But
don't get confused by the container. I have got.
Yeah, you have some powers, man. You have some powers. But you see, you know, we have to take relationships seriously, right?
Yeah.
I mean, for example, right? And I got this from the guy there, the comedian guy there, something Harvey. What's the?
what's his name? Is it Sam? Yeah, no.
No, man.
The one who wrote the book. The one who wrote the book about Think Like a Man.
Yeah, Steve Harvey.
Look like a woman, but I can't remember something like that.
Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey. His name's Steve Harvey, isn't it?
Yeah, Steve Harvey. Yeah.
No, then he said that every job he's been to, right? He had to
the
prove
3 months. I know the 90 days. Yeah.
Yeah, he had to prove himself, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, for about 90 days, right?
Mhm.
And then within that, they would take him on. He's going for probation, right? He had to prove himself.
Yeah.
No, what I'm saying is this, right? If you want to get involved in a committed relationship, right? You know, that man or that woman have to prove themselves. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to just have you know, if you're a person who just wants to go every week and have a hot night out or whatever, all right, then fair play, you know, that's you. But talking about committed relationship, you got to prove yourself. No, then, the woman has the most precious thing one man wants, right? Right? Sex, right? Well, the most precious thing is sex.
I thought it was food.
And probably food. Man said food. Well, I don't know. I think we're going to argue sex and food. Why? I think sex at times will come more important than food. Probably food might be more important than sex. I don't want to get that kind of argument right now. You know what I mean? Right? But you see, most pretty well what a woman wants, you know what I mean, is sex, love, and care, etc. Right? Why would a woman want to give that up so easily? In fact, the man proving himself. You see what I'm saying
because
here?
you don't want to lose him, because you think a woman might catch him first.
No, that's not true, James, right? The man has to prove himself, and that's where he should be. You see, because you see, as you know, Imani, relationship is very complex. You know, it's very it's like you're going on it's no different than you're going on ice skating, you're slipping about the place, you know what I mean? You got to find a groove and able to, and that's what it comes down to, you know, because as you know, Imani, you know, everybody have their own motive.
For sure.
Right? Man and woman, and some man would just be nice to you, but his motive is to get you in bed. His motive might to say, well, boy, she have some money, you know, right? I want to see if I can rinse it out, and you understand what I'm saying? So you have to be very conscious and clued up, and that's why you get to know. That's why when Sandra says you got to ask at least 200.
That's too much, man. That's too much.
Well, no.
But it wouldn't be done it wouldn't be done in one day or
no, but wouldn't that? But
interrogation.
No, but you see what Sandra says is
over
this.
a period of time, though.
But you see what Sandra says is this, right? Whether you're happy with the answers, that's a different argument, right? But you need to be asking those questions there. You need to be asking those questions there.
I agree with that.
You need to be asking those questions, you know, over a period of time, asking these concerned questions, you know what I mean, and so forth, you know. So, Imani, this just lead me that you know what I want to do? I want to write a book, you know, talk about relationship, redefine relationship, find a good black. You take a joke. A good black man, a good black woman. I want you to feel.
Absolutely, I think that'd be a great book.
You take a joke, write a book. You know what I mean? And then it'll be one of the biggest bestseller. I want everybody to know that. Write about what's the date today? Today is the
Today is the 19th. No,
19th.
It's the 20th. It's the 20th actually.
Today's the 20th.
Gosh.
And
The month's
by
gone.
June, we're gonna have the best-selling book, Redefine Racial, and find a good black man, a good black woman, and we're gonna start promoting from now. And we want people who are serious people who want to contribute a chapter. Just coming from where we know Buzzy B. You know what I mean? I've asked him. He's involved. You know what I mean? He's gonna be the editor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so forth.
Yeah.
See, because we want this book to come out and lick people in the neck back all over. You think a joke, you know? And you know what I'm inspired by? Boy, the man named Melik Shabazz, you know, he's a serious player that, you know. We just love him works, you know. See? And
Sorry,
so
say that again, Benny Buggy. What name did you say?
Inspired by Melik Shabazz.
Huh?
Shabazz, because
Oh yes, absolutely, yeah, very sensitive and you know, very much on point. He's done his homework on love in the black community for sure.
Yes.
He's done his homework.
Yes, and I can see that going far, you know. That's gonna go far.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah. And I understand, Joe, that he's got a film. The film is showing on Valentine's Day in London.
Yeah, we'll
is
say
that
on
right?
Valentine's Day. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, excellent. Excellent. Yeah, it's a great conversation, and I don't think we can ever really get to the end of this because I think relationship. I always say this. I always feel that it's when you come into a relationship, it's not just two people. It's you and all the other things that come with an individual. So you see a person, and you don't really. It's not really a person. There's so much more behind that person. So it's about understanding that we're all complex creatures, and not just jumping in with both feet without really thinking things through. So that's kind of my sort of take on it.
Right.
But yeah, it's a great conversation, and I'm enjoying it, and I'll continue to listen until you're ready to put a pin in it.
All right, that's true.
Yeah, thanks for your contribution as well. I think you hit some really important points. We've got to think ahead, not with our head, if you know what I mean. And that will determine we can determine our own future by the partner we select, and that's a key element.
Definitely.
Yeah, I agree with that, definitely. I just think, the black community is such a great community, and we've got so much to offer. We need to love and respect ourselves a lot better than we're doing, look at ourselves against the rest of the world, and look at, these important areas that's deteriorating, like our relationships and our health and our wealth, all those things are very important. And if we just sort of took things a bit more seriously, respected and loved ourselves and each other more, then those things would just easily fall into place, And as well, one of the things as well that's really important, our self-talk, the kind of conversations we have, we've got to really check our vibration, because when you start going down into low levels and you're putting yourself down, you're putting others down, you're not being...
Yes.
Those are very, very that's very destructive to the individual and the community. And I'm seeing, when that happens, you can only go down, because you're going to pass that all down to the next generation.
That's right.
And all these songs that's coming out dissing women or dissing each other, we have to stop that, because that is going out into the atmosphere and it's coming,
Yes.
And it's things like that I believe that if we change the way, if we had a few, went back to some of those old-fashioned values that we used to have back in the day, I think we could do with some of that, and just being more loving to ourselves and each other.
That's right.
And make sure our conversation is clean and empowering, not always negative and destructive. It's not it's obvious. You know, you just have to look and see. And if obviously a community is going down, we have to look at, you know, because the word, when you open your mouth and you mix it with the ether, you're creating. You know, you're becoming a creative force. So everything you say. I mean, I always say as well, we can't even afford to put our energy into negative things. We can't even afford to sit down and watch things like, you know, soaps and all this drama that is negative, because we're already in a low place. We need to start raising our vibration, you know, and so, you know, powerful, positive conversations is what we need, like what your show is doing, Brother Douglas. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, my sister.
So I'm getting off my soapbox now.
No. We just love to hear you, man. You got so much wisdom, but know that you have a nice spirit, though. You know what I mean? You really.
Thank you.
You really.
Yeah, so do you all. You know, it's beautiful hearing you all in the studio there, and you know, I love it. I tune in every Tuesday and always come away feeling empowered. So yeah.
Get it. All right,
thank you very much. Yeah. Take care.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay then, what a powerful contribution by a beautiful sister. And as I said, she regular contribute to the show, you know, and you can see that her thing is mostly around relationship, mostly around personal development, spirituality and development, and she really has that in depth of information. And like I said before, we're gonna put a book together, you know, because we have to put a book together, and then eventually we want to do a documentary, you know, after that. So you know, we're on a mission, and we're gonna put this together definitely, because you know, and again, we're inspired by the great man Malik Shabazz, who is one of the greatest legend over there.
I was going to ask you, because I've upset so many women tonight with my outspoken views, I was wondering, is it possible to bring down samples of perfume to give away on this night?
Definitely.
Perfume and makeup products and stuff like that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah? Alright.
Yeah, man.
This is for all the females, all the empresses and queens who's been listening and hearing me abuse you. I'm going to bring down makeup and perfumes on the night, Looking for Love. And that's taking place on Sunday, the 14th of February this year at 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. The venue, Northumberland Park Community School, and that's Truelock Road. That's Trulock, Truelock like in lock, Truelock Road, London, N17 0P or OPG. Access is via Paxton Road car park easy to find behind Spurs football ground. That's N17 0BP. Tickets are £5. And once again, Looking for Love, Sunday the 14th of February, and I've been given permission to give away free samples of perfume and makeup. Thank you.
Because I'm going to do one better as well, because if people phone in, right, and they want a ticket for this event here, feel free to phone in, because one thing we're going to do, we want to get as many people down there, because there's a big space down there. So we want the place to be packed out, ram out and thing. We're going to have stores down there. So right now, we're on some heavy promotion. But people want a ticket, you get a ticket on me, right? And we want to get as many people down there, and you need to see this film, because to me it's one of the best film what Malik Shabazz has put that, and to me it's one of the best film documentary out there. Definitely one of the best I've seen. I mean, Hidden Colors, brilliant, right? This is almost, I would say, in fact, the brother in Hidden Colors, Johnson, is also in Looking for Love, you know. So I need to mention that. See, and so forth, right? So you need to come out and to see this powerful film documentary. So please ring me, and we will make arrangement for you to have tickets to see the film. Before me tonight, or give it or tomorrow before 12 o'clock. Yeah, well, say between 12 say between 12 and 1. Cause obviously I need to be a rest. You know what I mean?
All right, then you're going to outdo it. The first one to ring Dougie and mention the name Jammers will receive an exclusive bottle of perfume.
All right, definitely. So we are roll this thing here.
Yeah, so we'll look after the queens.
Yeah, see it there. Okay, then. If anybody want to phone in, you'll be the last caller, right? You can phone in, and if you want to make a contribution, a burning question, feel free to do that. And again, I want to big up those who are listening wherever you are, north, south, east, and west. Some people are all part of the world, Jamaica, Canada, wherever you are. You must remember, find your voice on the move, on the go. You don't see, because we're not no joke business. We're here to reason and tell the truth, number the truth, and the absolute truth. And again, I want to big up those who phoned in earlier on. The great man Millie Shabazz, my brethren Barry, you know what I mean? Who they're phoning, Sister Grace, Sister Amani. We have another sister the first time phoning as well earlier on. We want to get more people to phone in, but don't be shy, you know what I mean? And just reason with us. If you feel about chat foolishness, let us know about chat foolishness, because sometimes we do chat some foolishness.
Speak for yourself, Dougie. Supreme. I'm going to big up Buzzy B as well. Boy, he took it to another level with his reasoning,
Buzzy B,
I see Dougie take out his notebook.
Yeah, I have to take up my notebook.
Supreme,
Take up my notebook. I will stretch me all of my brain cell
with my bust sweat,
But me and Buzzy B, we go head to head on them little reason there, so,
You took it to another level.
Yeah, man, stretch him out, you know what I mean? Stretch it, you know what I mean? So that's how I wrote this thing here. Alright, then I'm going to press a bit more of this recording here, right? And then we're going to bring this show to end. So I want to big up those. Sister Alexis, if you're listening right now, because I know he's a late hoe, she probably do her work, so I want to big up you up. Sister Pansy, over at Pepper and Spice, you know what I mean?
Oh, Pepper and Spice, yes. Thanks for the food the other day. That was nice twice.
Yeah, man. Pepper and Spice, Pansy knows some. We know them from long time, Obviously listening right now, because I don't get my father, right? Bring you up, pick up from the airport. No, it's you, Pansy, but she pick up Derek and the rest of their family. So, like for no say, well, we are one family still, see, and so forth. So Pansy pick up a step. Again, we want to pick up to SLR, the management from this station here, for their hard work, their commitment, their focus, their love, their energy. All the DJs them. We have DJ, we have a man called Jummers on the station.
Respect. Okay, I just touch a little piece on the call. What she was, the power of your mouth when you say something. Yeah. What Amani said. Just touch briefly. Basically, if you look at the word call backwards, you see LLAC, the sound of lack. So everything when you call something, it's because you're lacking that thing. So I need food. And so when you're calling, I want to watch EastEnders, that's because you're starting to need what you're calling. So you've got to be careful of the things that you call. In Kemet now, the mouth represents anything that you say comes towards you. So anytime you open your mouth calling something, it's going to come towards you. Like when you ask a question, an answer will come towards you. If you say something bad to someone, it's going to come towards you. So that's the power that we have with our mouth. It's also linked with Ra, the sun, because anything the sun can do, your mouth can do. Your mouth can cause rain. Your mouth can cause sorrow. Your mouth can cause someone to create heat by making someone happy. So your mouth has the power to affect. Thank you.
Absolutely. We're going to play some more of Shabazz.